Pops, I picked up my first gun in the first grade. At 7 years old, I was already lost. You were too caught up in your fast life to realize that I watched your every move. With curiosity in my fingertips, always wondered what you would stuff in you in mommy's closet. Until finally one day I was bold enough to go inside. Just as I was ready to grip the trigger, I heard you come, drop the gun, and ran under your bed to see you pick up that same piece of metal my innocent eyes fell so in love with. That same piece of metal that binds our souls to death. That same piece of metal I almost lost my life to. Daddy, you taught me to live for Central Richmond, to despise those from the other side, to die for a piece of land. And now I want to hate you so bad. Just like I hated those Northers that killed my cousin. Just like I hated those Northers that jumped my best friend in front of me, then tried to make me put a bullet in her head. And because of my loyalty, I got 2 in my chest. She made it. The first words that sang a cappella in my head after waking up from a coma, those words pierced nails into the marrow of my lifeless bones. March 21st, 2009, the day I came to. The day I survived, that same day, a part of me died. Suffocated by the smoke of white America's pistol, resurrected by spirituals of my ancestors, I was reborn. Pops, there were no more hiding places for your falls, no more closets to safeguard the truth. You did this. You might as well have put those bullets in my chest yourself. Maybe that's why you can never look me straight in the eyes, because the guilt is too much to bear. You spend my whole life trying to control my every move, my every word. What do you know about being a man? You stayed and raised me, but mentally you were never there. Many a nights my heart yearned for that loving father, just one. I'm proud of you, one kiss on the forehead saying, baby girl, I love you, but no, I got little girl, shut up, learn your place, you have no say, you never will, because that's life. You never owned up to the damage you left me with. The residue of pain still stains the pores in my soul, Daddy. I got shot and you act like it never happened. What kind of a man shackles up his daughter's happiness for his legacy, then auctions off her love to protect his own pride? I've always been dead to you. It's something I learned long ago. But one day, you'll realize that this little girl doesn't live here anymore. Then finally, you'll hear the whispers of my spirits howling at your heart. The painful, I hate you, comfort the bruising in your precious pride. Can't you see? I'm tired of living in fear, tiptoeing across this black man graveyard, this ghost town of a rich city. I'm broken like chicken bones in the gutter, Hennessy bottles shattered in the street, bullet holes in all the windows make it hard to feel safe opening. But when I see those scars, I remember the price of being a soldier. Daddy, please. Carve the anger, pain, and past resentment out of your ego. Put it in a box and lock it up. Bury it in the garden of beauty and let it rot in the flesh of clean soil. Then maybe the power of love can send hands of shockwaves up your vertebrae, snapping the necks of all this ignorance. At 7 years old, I was already lost. Father, instead of raising your gun, raise your daughter.
You have me asking God questions. I made my questions an interrogation. God, why did you do this to me? You see, I used to love stars, but looking at her made them a redundancy. Each cell in her body was a gem-colored solar system. God, was it a coincidence that you put galaxies in her eyes, or did you mean to have them match her heavenly smile so perfectly? I would ask her the same questions, but around her I turned into jelly. I guess that's why I don't like Jell-O, but I love jam. And jamming to the music, but I can't jam to your heartbeat because I've never been close enough to hear. But I could hear how your voice sounded like a serenade, how our conversations made classrooms fun, how our words enlaced like a couple dancing the flamenco. I'll ask you to teach me to dance. When my clumsiness makes you laugh hard enough to draw tears, I'd have to say that at that moment, you look like Paris in the rain. Love is beauty. And beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. So love is in my eyes whenever I see you. I should want to have the key to your heart, but that implies that I could get in at any time. But feelings like this should be consensual. Call it poetic logic. Me plus you equals a love poem, call it poetic mathematics. My heart spilt out and poured on a paper to form words, call it poetic English. Our fourth period will always be poetic drama, but we never had chemistry. I just had physics, where they told me that when two particles collide, there's an explosion. Does that mean that when we collide, we would create an explosion that would dim the stars I once fell in love with? I'll show them to you anyways. I'll teach you how to grab black holes, put them in reverse, and play them like beats. Show you how to drink from the Milky Way. Don't worry when you get stars in your teeth. You outshine them anyways. You outshine them anyways with your smile. When I see that smile, when I recognize its flawlessness, bewildering how it defies the consistency in my body, how my heart shouldn't sound in tune with the stampeding of elephants, how chaotic my veins feel, trying to rid themselves of this foreign existence, how my body tries to create antibodies. Maybe I could fight off this attack. I'm not used to such a feeling. Maybe I'll train my body to get used to it. Hopefully, I'll have to get used to it. Because whenever I look at you, you have me asking God questions. This time I made it an exclamation. God, thank you for doing this to me. You see, I used to love stars, but God gave me something better to see. Thank you.
The next morning, your breathing echoes in the quiet of the sunrise like loneliness, like the space between our chests, like the way I am aching to reach for your hand. My pulse trembles, waves in the mouth of an ocean, and I lie still, paralyzed by the reality of sunlight, hungry for the tender liberation of the dark, where every molecule of our flesh is alive and burning, our bodies fusing into the dark matter of our breath. We are stars collapsing into one another, mouths exploding, sun setting fire to civilization. But this poem is not about you or us or this. It's about how I can't tell the difference between fucking and loving, or maybe I can't tell the difference between fucking and needing to be loved, and I don't know how to untangle my soul from my flesh, and I can't figure out how to unchain my heart from my body. And maybe I am just starting to realize that there is a loneliness burrowed deep in my bones, a hollow aching for warmth, for fullness, for anything I can misinterpret as connection. And I am starting to become familiar with the way walls of resistance I have built for myself crumble when you look at me. I can feel it in the way my body reacts to you, rib cage contracting into suffocating heart, hot blood pounding against bursting skin, insides mutating into starving butterflies. I can feel it in the way our bodies slam and convulse, hunting for heat, foraging for firewood inside each other, leaving traces of myself behind. I want to lick the dew off your eyelashes like you belong to me. I want to kiss the morning into your lips like I am the sun and you are horizon. I want to trace the light off your cheekbones like this is a love story, but instead I lie still.